What's up? Lunch with Baum. Little Fit Friday rant for you today. How's everybody doing? How'd the week turn out? I always like one of my thoughts on Fridays is always what healthy changes did you make today, this week? You know, what'd your workouts look like? Do you ever plan them out? I just got some random thoughts for you today. I've been thinking about as the week's gone on. Just a little review. First, though, if you've been kind of following, and if you find value in these things, hook me up. Give me a thumbs up, like it, share it, send it out to your friends. If you're not friends with me on Facebook, hit me up. You Insta folks, so I got my Facebook Live and my Insta Live going. All right, Lunch with Baum. I come in every day. I'm trying to come every day between 11:30 and noon. Here's just a random thought for you. We got a new schedule here at school, and it's short periods, so jury is still out on what I think about the short periods. But if I decide to be more efficient and focus with my time, then it's not gonna matter too much. So this one is just end of the week, but just a little review. I talked about earlier this week about commit. You got to commit to whatever you do. It doesn't matter if you are trying to lose weight, or you need better nutrition, or you're an athlete on the football team. You got to commit 100% all in. One of my favorite tests, I call it the 4-way test, as a coach for a lot of years, is there's 4 things that got to happen on a championship caliber team. What up, Karsh? You got players got to believe in each other, always, 100%. You got to believe in each other. Players got to believe in the coaches, and then it's got to be vice versa. Coaches got to believe in their players, and then the coaches got to believe in the coaches. And if that box is not complete, it doesn't matter what trick play or what kind of athletes you recruit or anything like that, you're not going to be very good, because the team's never going to gel. It's never going to come together. So that's a big thing. Early, you got to commit. You got to commit to it. You got to give it everything you got. Is that if it's not up here and it's not in here, then it's no good. All right? It's like going back to what's the best program? The best program is the one that you're not on, because you suck at the one that you're doing. So many people switch from one program to the next that, well, why don't you have results? Well, that's my thing yesterday. I talked about the 3 things that why people fail at everything that they do. They blame everybody else. All right? They complain about everything, and then they're not grateful. They have no self-worth. And then they always make excuses and point fingers at everybody else. It's just crazy train, which kind of led me into my rant for the day, is that, there's so much nonsense in the world that you got to focus on the little things. All right? Here's one, too. I was talking with someone earlier this morning about, why can't I lose weight? Why can't I lose weight? It says, well, what's your nutrition look like? What's your work? 99% of the time is because you eat too much and not exercise enough. And then go back to if you're struggling, filling in the gaps with your nutrition. A kid brought a protein shake in this morning. I grabbed it, I looked at the bottle, I read the ingredients, and I was like, get out of town. Do you even know what's in that thing? Synthetic ingredients, fillers, canola oil. It's like crazy train. It says if you want to get better at something, number 1, you got to measure it, and number 2, you got to eat lean, clean, and green, and then you got to exercise regularly. Get your butt up and move every single day. How many people that I talk to that wear a Fitbit that can't get 10,000 steps in a day? And granted, I live in the fitness world, in the strength world, and getting 10,000 steps, shoot, that happens by lunchtime. So biggest thing on that is, well, why can't you accomplish the goal that you want to accomplish? Or why can't you lose weight? It's like you got to have a plan, and you got to work the plan. Here's another one, mindset-wise. Everybody is so stinking happy to get to Friday. You know what happens? TGIF every single week. Mondays suck. You get to Monday, and then you're like, oh man, I can't wait till it's Friday. Oh my gosh. Every day is Friday, people. Every day is Friday. It's your mindset. All right? Your attitude is going to dictate your altitude. 100% all the time. I'll bring the energy every single day because my glass is half full, and if I can impart that on one of my students or one of my clients, then that's what they're going to do when they go out in the real world. One of the things that I believe over the last couple of years is that where can I have the biggest impact on my students, athletes, and clients that I get to work with every single day is when they're not with me. So if I can breathe and instill some positivity and some mental mindset shift into their life when they go out and they're away from me. We all have 186 hours in the week, right? We all have the same amount of time. We have that same amount of time 24 hours in a day, 7 days a week. And then what happens, right? 168 hours. Is it? Let me count. Boom. Yeah. 168. So if I see my kids 5 days a week, that still leaves 163 hours out of the week where they're not around me, where I'm not fired up, where I'm not talking to them, that they got to go do it on their own. How are they going to do it? If they don't have a plan, if they always talk negative, if it's, oh my gosh, TGIF, and then Mondays are a drag, and Tuesdays, oh my gosh, and then Wednesday's hump day, and it's crazy. So I have these little days. It's like, we got Fit Tuesday, and I like to say Fit Friday because I always like to look back on the week. And yeah, right, Robert? No, not a good math. You should see me with this new schedule. Time, we got 50-minute periods. It's a train wreck trying to figure out and cram all the stuff we used to do into a short amount of time. But once again, you got to be efficient with your time. So I'm not making excuses. I'm just figuring out problem, solution. All right, that goes back to what we talked about the other day about people making excuses about, now sure, I'm a guy and I see a problem and I immediately my brain goes to like, all right, I got to fix it, right? I got to have sometimes you got to sit back and look and listen, and then your solution presents itself. But for me, I'm going to go after it. What up, my man? Drill instructor? Maybe. I just get fired up and passionate about what I do, right? So anyway, let's see. What do I got? Just some crazy nonsense, right? Problem, solution. Yep, love it. One of the other things is, I was just thinking about this. Talked to somebody the other day. I got a question here. I don't have all the answers. I think one of the biggest things that I look at is that I'm a lifelong learner. I think that's the one thing that drives me and challenges me the most, is that I believe that I don't have the answers, and then I got to go out. I got to go out and find it. So I get thrown at things at me all the time about, kid will bring supplement in and shows it to me and says, Coach, what do you think about this? I don't know. I got to go do a little research. Most of the time it's garbage because I look at the ingredients and it's synthetic this and synthetic that. So, I got my own stuff that I use, but we can talk about that later. We've got, a lot of times the guys are saying, well, Coach, how much protein should I have? Well, you got to play around with it. Everybody's a little bit of different. Body type's going to matter. We were talking about that the other day. Is it half a gram? Is it 0.7? Is it 1.0? A lot of it, if you're struggling all the time and you're sore all the time and you're not able to build some lean muscle, then you probably got to increase it. The other what did I got going on here? I wrote some notes to myself. Oh, last one. I think here's the funny thing is, you mentioned that you got all the answers. Honestly, I don't. I go out and I try to find the answers to the questions that get thrown at me. But I think a lot of the problems is that everybody thinks they're an expert. Is that as a strength coach and a teacher, and I get thrown things all the time in the fitness world. The fitness world's a mess. With everything that gets thrown out there about, you can get on Google and you can get on YouTube, and, I get it all the time about, hey, what do you think about this workout program or, that workout program? And the biggest issue is that, what the best program is? What people think, actually, people think the best program is the one that they're not on, and that they switch back and forth and back and forth, and you got to pick a plan and stick with the plan. That's probably the biggest thing. But too many times, it's like my man Shiloh. So I got an issue, right? We got an issue with my car. Check engine light comes on, and Shiloh's my man down at Accutech, and I give him a call and I said, hey, Shiloh, I got this check engine light kind of making a funny noise. He's like, hey, bring it in. Shiloh's the expert. So, like, I know I'm not the expert. If I had an issue and I wasn't feeling good and whatnot, who am I gonna call? Probably gonna go to the doctor, But don't try to be an expert. If you got an issue going on, you're not feeling good at things. Geez, people get on WebMD and they're trying to be a self-diagnosed physician, and then all of a sudden they worry themselves, and actually they find out that all it is a little bit of stress, because they're freaking themselves out all the time. And if you'd have just chill out, maybe meditate a little bit and read a little bit more and focus on some breathing techniques, that you probably would eliminate a lot of your personal actually 100%, man, go the natural route. That's what I think. If my clients and the kids that I look at what people eat. 9 times out of 10 it goes back to nutrition. Everything goes back to that. You know, if you're struggling with your sleep, you know, what'd you eat that day? What'd you drink that day? Are you hydrated enough? You know, if it's not lean, clean, and green, and here's another one, if it's in a package or a box, don't eat it. You know, if you try to eat more of a natural approach, who had it posted? Peter Twist posted one, Crazy Train. He posted a picture of a McDonald's hamburger from 4 years ago. 4 years ago, I was showing it to my wife the other night, and she looks at it and she's like, "Get out of here!" The bun was still shiny. The meat looked like it was still, you know. So look at all the stuff that were pumped into our food system, and why it's so hard to make gains to get anywhere is because the stuff that we're putting in our mouth. You know, why are people sick all the time? Why do people have allergies all the time? Folks, look for natural options. You know, if you don't eat a lot of fruits and vegetables and lean protein, and you don't use essential oils, and you don't fill in the gaps with a natural nutritional, there's a reason why you're sick all the time. All right? There's so many simple solutions that you could make. Staying hydrated, eating clean, filling in the gaps where you're deficient. You'd be amazed at what you can accomplish by the little things that you could do just by making some simple changes. All right? You know, so going back, recapping from the week, you know what is commit. You got to commit, man. You got to breathe some positivity into your life, and you'll be amazed at what you can do with other people. You know, don't blame people. Don't make excuses. You know, have a little self-gratification. You know, when you get up in the morning, look at your mirror and tell yourself how much you love yourself each day. You know, it starts up here. It starts up here, and then it just absorbs in here, and then you have this just aura about you, right? And then just all the other rants, you know. It says if you need help, ask for help. All right. If you're looking for expert advice, go talk to the expert. So, you know, that's a big thing for me. You know, a little Friday rant, you know, so I'm a lifelong learner. I'm going to keep learning. I'm going to go out there. I'm going to have a great weekend. I hope you guys too. Hit me up if you're around. And once again, if this brings value to you in your life, share it, like it. I'm going to flip back through these Instas and check out these messages, and I'll answer any of them that come up. But you guys have a rockin',